What's up, YouTube? I hope you enjoyed that EGC Winter Championship from last weekend, and I had the pleasure of watching this game live, Hera vs. Linnock, and it really surprised me at the change in the French meta now that the Horsemen have been buffed. So what I thought I would do is go back to this game and just watch from Hera's perspective and call out exactly the details of what he's doing, in case you are someone who's playing French and are looking to pick up this strategy for your own. So let's get to it. Okay, so Linnock is over here playing as the English. Hera is playing as the French. We're going to be just watching Hera. So the map is Dry Arabia. He has opened with training an additional scout right out of the gate. So he has his first scout. We'll even put the fog of war on. Here we go. First scout going out in this kind of direction, his other scout going in the other way, picking up those sheep, and he drops that first house, leaving the space. If he wants to build a farm, he can. Okay, so far, he's got his first 5 villas on those sheep. You see, he has brought them in nice and close to the town center, and he's now splitting his villagers. Oop. You ideally don't want to hit the sheep twice if you don't have to. But you see him splitting his villagers here. That will increase his gather time. And meanwhile, he is getting a lot of sheep out on the map. You can see there. 1, 2, 3 right there. He's got several with this. Okay, so far he has trained 8 villagers. They have all gone to food. So the build order so far is 1 scout followed by villagers. I expect the next villager will probably go to gold. Let's see if that's what he does. Yep. Okay, so pretty standard opening so far. Nothing has really changed in the Dark Age for quite some time for most civilizations. Man, he's just getting a ton of sheep. And, I think you had to be an advocate for considering the second scout here, because he's picked up a lot of food. And he's up against the English. Don't forget that. Here we go. A second villager to gold. So 8 on food, 2 to gold. Because his goal is going to be to build that school of cavalry and go out for an early attack against the English, who's probably going to be making spear and longbows, the composition you typically see in this matchup. So you want to kind of have them, if you pick up some extra sheep, that's just going to, force them onto farming earlier on, or force them into a spot to get res that maybe is less favorable for raiding. Okay, 3 to gold. So we have 8 on food, 3 to gold, and he's going to start getting close to age up time here. I'm going to give this a little bit of speed because nothing too interesting going on. That's 4 villagers to gold. Okay, 8 on food, 4 on gold. Okay, and we'll slow it back down. 8 food, 4 gold, and now he is going and building a lumber camp. And yep, it looks like it'll be 2 villas to wood. And he'll be aging up here just momentarily. There you go. He's going to drop the school of cavalry. Probably like right here, I think is what he does. Okay. And he actually pulls 3 off of gold to build his school of cavalry, leaving 1 villager staying on the gold. So 2 on wood, 1 on gold. Those original 8 still on sheep, and 3 are currently on this school of cavalry. So that's the macro so far. Now, I'm going to pause just for a second. Typically in French builds, we would have more villagers on gold in transition because you would be saving up gold for those royal knights. But Hera is going to be training horsemen instead of these knights, so he doesn't need as much gold. So that really changes things. He has 3 on wood right now. There we go. We've got the gold villager building a house, 8 on food, 3 on wood, 3 building. Look at all those sheep he has in there, so he's got plenty of food. And his goal here is going to be to drop down an archer range very quickly, because the enemy is going to be making some spearmen to counter your cavalry. The enemy probably expects royal knights, but maybe this is, I'm sure, very quickly going to become more of a thing in the meta, and horsemen will be what you'll be seeing. Okay, there we go. We've got 5 on wood, 1 on gold, 8 on food. And so he goes for these horsemen, and I think there's a few reasons why he does it. 1, you don't have to get as much gold, so they're more cost efficient. As far as, I know the knights are stronger units, but early on, the horsemen, they're going to have more speed, right? Horsemen are going to have more speed. Since they now have more resistance to that range, the longbows aren't as threatening to them, and you don't have to tie up so much resources in the knights. So look, he's got a lot of villas on wood. 6 on wood right now. 8 on food, 6 on wood. Now he's got 7 on wood. Still just 1 on gold. 3 building this. I'm going to speed up just a little bit. Now, he's scouting his opponent. As always, you want to scout your opponent. You know what English are doing, but he just kind of can see the positions he wants to raid, right? That's what he's going to see here. Okay, so we've got currently, he finally added an additional villager. After having 7 on wood, he now has 9 on food. And look, he has the resources immediately to drop an archer range. So there's our archer range. Those landmark villagers all went to food. And he is queuing up horsemen. Because horsemen cost a lot of food, right? 100 food, 20 wood. But still just 1 on gold. All of his new villas have been... He put 7 on wood, I guess, and now it's been splitting a lot more to food. And I'm sure from here, he's probably just feeling out the macro as he goes. But he has 12 on food. He has 7 on wood, or 8 on wood now after this. And he's going to be training... he hasn't missed a beat training these horsemen. He's going to be now training up archers, and he has the economy for it. He's got his villagers coming in. So he's doing great. And he already has these 2 scouts to get out, get all the intel he needs to see where the enemy's coming from. He has his horsemen out already, which is going to come harass. He sees exactly what Lennox's doing. English are coming. You just kind of want to know the angle, right? So he faces a little bit of pressure here at first. And watch this. So one thing I really like about the strategy is since he's using the horsemen, it is easier for him to flank those reinforcing longbows, right? Because you typically want to chase them down, and the horsemen are just going to be a little bit faster, which really allows him to have mobility here, right? Mobility is key. Okay, let's see if he gets any. Let's see. Look, even that. There's 1 longbow. There's 2. I mean, look at that. Great trade. Great trade. Forces enemies of army to come back. So he's got his horsemen. Now he has archers, and now he's picked off a few. He can get a surround on this army, which is, I think, what's about to happen here. He is just waiting. He wants to try to target these the spearmen with the archers, but he's just going to get the reinforcements. Look, he's like, whatever. He doesn't even need to engage into that. He's going to go get that new crop. But I bet you they're just chilling, right? Yeah, he's figured out what's going on. But I mean, this opening is the biggest thing. Now let's watch. He's going to be engaging out here a little bit, but let's watch what's going back at home. He's getting there's a little wall and a tower, some pressure on his wood line. Currently, his macro, he has 8 on wood and 13 on food, because you need more food than wood to make horsemen. You need a lot of wood for the archers, but luckily the horsemen don't cost a lot of wood. And he is now starting to get some gold, which is going to be for age up. Being careful not to run those horsemen into the spears. Oh, unlike that. Okay. I think this is a bit of an awkward trade, if I remember this correctly. Oh, actually, it's okay. He actually gets his tower. There's two villagers. And then he just kind of killed this force, and he's just doing fine. So the biggest thing he's done so far was just picking off some of the reinforcements with those horsemen. Really allowed him to get a larger mass. He got a good surround. Honestly, Locke got caught a little bit out of position here too. But he's got to save his wood line, so that's why he committed hard to getting this, which paid off. Okay, now he has just put 5 villagers on gold, and he's just slowly gathering up for that age up. He's had a lot on food, right? 8 on the sheep, and he has 9 on the berries. He pulled some villagers off those berries as his sheep numbers got a little bit lower, so they weren't bumping into each other. So he's kept consistent archer production. It looks like he's pulled from his horseman production because he knows at this point that he has. Honestly, once you have a mass, he could have just purely archers, right? Archers will go okay against longbow and spear once he knows he has the numbers advantage, which he does now. So he's pulling from horsemen. So he's saving up that food to age, because archers are only going to cost 30 food and 50 wood, and he is putting all of his new villagers on food, right? So the difference is, like, if he had been making royal knights, right, he would not be stacking any res. He would have been spending all of this. There would be no gold, like very little gold in the bank. It'd be a lot harder. So he's able to macro into this age up. It's a castle, and then he'll mix some royal knights into the mix. There you can see the blacksmith, and he's just kind of poking around, seeing what he can grab. Get some good raids here. Here comes some horsemen. 1 villager taking some shots, and can't remember how this fight goes here. Yeah, just kind of a back and forth. So, but he's just buying time, right? He's aging up. So let's look back here. He has the gold he needs. He just needs the food now. Pulling guys off wood to food. So he's look at that, remacroing. And this is something you have to realize. Like, the reason why I'm going through reviewing this game and not just doing a strict build order, right, is players adapt all the time in games, and a single build order isn't going to get you very far. And do you think Hera would thought preconceived that he was going to pull all those villas off of wood to the berries. Like, no, he saw the moment like, okay, I've got room to age up. There's a little engagement going on here, but let's just pay attention to this re-macro back at home. So he's moved. He knows where his enemy's army is, so he's coming out and getting these deer. He knows he's safe for now. He was able to grab these berries, and he's just really powering out that age up, not training any units. And this is always a delicate balance, right? Now look at this. Hera actually got wiped. His army did lose here, but Leonok is playing quite defensive. He might push again, but it's probably going to be some time, and he's going to have enough time to get the age up in. It looks like he actually... accidentally didn't build the mill. Awkward. So getting an additional stable, because he knows going into the next age, he's going to be training knights. There we go. He's already training up some knights, which will, ward off whatever's pushing in right now if Leonok pushes against. Now, Leonok could have a moment that he could strike here, right? Because Hera doesn't really have an army, but he has a tower defending this. He's probably going to be a little bit more cautious, right? Because there's horsemen that could be flanking, they could be raiding, all that stuff going on. So it's a little bit of a mind game right now. But here we go. He is aging up with the guild hall. Checking out the current macro, he had, as I mentioned before, thrown a lot of villagers onto food in order to get that age up in. He is now building the guild hall with 5 villagers, keeping these, well, I guess he now has 7 villas on gold, building an outpost just to defend this gold here in transition. Another thing I like about this, horseman open for French is everybody expects French to go for the Royal Knights, and English know to come and pressure that gold band, right? He could come out with longbows and could have easily picked off some vills. But by going for food and wood, it's typically a little safer a thing to defend. It gives you 2 points of defense rather than having to be right on top of all those. Because if you shut down that gold, Royal Knights are done, right? Okay, so he's training these knights because once he hits the next age, he's going to upgrade them to veteran, and he's going to be in just a super strong position. So I'm going to speed up through this. Like I said, this isn't a casted game. We're just reviewing Hera's strategy here. So he's macroing. He's kept 7 on gold throughout this, 20 now on food, dropping down house, and there we go. Okay, let's see what he does now. He is in the 3rd age. Now, he has not gone for any... he did get wheelbarrow early on, but he has not gone for any other eco tech. So even though French have cheap techs, like I'm tempted a lot of times just to get them because they're so cheap with French, but Hera has been ignoring them. He did not go for any of them. Here come those longbows. But yeah, here we go. Instantly, he's upgrades to veteran while he's training Royal Knights behind this. I mean, these knights are going to be super powerful against this. And I can't remember if he goes for a raid or what he does with this. We'll see. But he has... The villagers that are wood right now are just for that archer production, which he's kept coming in. He did get that steeled arrow, so he even had some extra gold there. And he actually has not re-macroed this guild hall to be to gold or something. He's just getting food. I don't know if he actually is collecting this, but now has 10 on gold because he realizes he's ramping up his Royal Knight production. Let's see. He's going for a raid across the field, so that's what's going on right here right now. So just chilling back. He doesn't need to go take this engagement yet, right? He's just waiting until he gets the numbers. He knows that Leonok isn't going to at least age up for a little bit of time right now. And not to mention, he drew this out in the 2nd age, so he has more villagers, right? And now he's picking off vills. Look at that. So he's sitting right now on 48 vills versus 39 of Leonok. So French, they train villagers faster through the ages, of course, but they're going to train villagers faster than an opponent who stays on a single TC. And these knights now, I mean, these are veteran knights. They can look. This is an English town center which shoots rapidly, and look how long that knight survived underneath that. And he doesn't even need to fight the main army. He just is like coming back. He is picking off reinforcements, and he's idled all of Leonok's army or economy. Look at that. All these farms are idled, and now that he's scouted these farms that have been built quite far away from the town center, he can just keep running by here and hitting these points time after time again. 37 vills versus 50 right now, and this is pretty much GG from here. So I'll turbo that one out for you guys. But essentially, that's what Hera does. He opens up with horsemen in Feudal Age against the English rather than going for the Royal Knights. And this, I thought, was quite unique and a new thing we're seeing in the meta now that horsemen are better. I just thought it was very interesting when I was casting this game. And of course, Hera, being a player who went all the way to the championship, the final round, and won it. obviously knows what he's doing. So I'd imagine this is a very strong builder. And this is against English specifically, but I feel like this is probably going to be a good strategy to boost French into the Castle Age sooner. So honestly, I would say the Horseman buff kind of buffed French quite a bit, because now they can instantly train as horsemen instead of the Royal Knights. They could save that gold for aging up, get the Castle Age, and then they get those upgrades. I mean, he could have even gone for the Royal Institute and gotten that upgrade there. I mean, he went for the Guildhall, which is also awesome option. They have two very viable options there. And look, he's just going to dominate from here with all this. So I hope you like this build order breakdown of Hera here in the EGC Winter Championship game. And let me know what you think, if this is something you're going to try, if you've seen anybody else trying this out before the tournament. But I'll be looking for some other interesting strategies that have changed and developed as this new patch and the new meta is currently forming. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Leave a comment below. It really does help me out with the algorithm on YouTube. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. We just hit 1 million YouTube views. So you guys are awesome, and hope you keep coming back. I'll see you in the next one.